We are coming to you live tonight from Watertown High School here in Watertown, Wisconsin. My name is Ethan Buss as we get set for this matchup between the Whitnall Falcons and the Watertown Goslings girls basketball team. So, coming into tonight, we talked about it last week, but the Lady Goslings were 2-0 heading into Thanksgiving break. They head over to the Thanksgiving Classic, and they lose 2 in a row. So they come back here with a 2-2 record, and we'll have to see if they can get the job done here tonight at home as they resume competition against Whitnall here this evening. Now Whitnall comes into this game 1-2 as the Falcons will look to get back in the win column, coming up a loss to Menominee Falls last time around. For the Goslings, it was a loss last time around as well in the Thanksgiving Classic to Germantown. And now tonight, we'll have to see how things play out. We're going to take it to the court and go to the national anthem.
Please rise for your hands to join the Watertown High School pep band under the direction.
As we come back to you live here, we will get the starting lineups in just a moment. For the Watertown Goslings, Matt Stahlberg is the head coach. Goslings come in with a 2-2 record.
Against the Watertown Goslings.
And again, Whitnall coming in with a 1-2 record. Anthony Parr is the head coach for Whitnall.
Starting a sophomore, number 12, Amari Ogleton. Starting a senior, number 22, Grace King. Starting a freshman, number 32, Riley Ward. And starting a freshman, number 44, Ella Cook. And coach for Whitnall is Anthony Parr. His assistants, Gina Sanfilippo and Grant Van Brisbane. And now the starters for the Watertown Goslings. Starting guard, a 5'9" junior, 14, Ellie Gamet. At forward, 6'1" sophomore, number 21, Alex Johnson. At guard, 5'10" sophomore, number 23, Megan Doherty. At forward, 6'1" junior, number 30, Drew Henricks. And a 5'9" sophomore, number 32, Annie Moss. Head coach for Watertown is Matt Stolberg. His assistants are Karen Stonewall, Andy Porter, and Brad Toto. And the varsity officials as their Robert Miller, Mike Kennedy, and Kevin Suki.
All right.
Let's play basketball.
So one more time for the Goslings tonight. On the court, Ellie Demet gets the start, number 14. She continues to play well. Has her points per game average up to 18. That is a career high for her. Alex Johnson, number 21, starting for Watertown as well. Megan Doherty, number 23, gets the start. Drew Heinrichs, number 30, and number 32, Addie Moss. Meanwhile, on the other side for Whitnall, it is number 22, Grace King, who gets the start, along with number 32, Riley Ward. Along with Ella Koch and Amari Ogleton as well will be in the starting lineup here for Whitnall. And they are joined by Abby Koch as well. The tip is won by the Goslings, and it is Ellie DeMette who won the tip. Drew Hendricks spinning inside. They kick it out. Ellie DeMette looking for some help, and that one is stolen away. And it's going to head over to Whitnall as the basketball rolled out of bounds. You have to bear with me. Looks like we have some jersey number changes here for Whitnall, so we'll have to bear with me. I do know that this is going to be Abby Cook bringing it up the court here for Whitnall. And that ball is turned over. Ellie DeMette brings it back the other way. DeMette over to Drew Hendricks. Hendricks driving in, and they're going to call a travel and a turnover. And Whitnall will get the basketball. I do apologize, it is actually Riley Ward who will bring it up the court for Whitnall. She is a freshman starting on the varsity team. Again, Whitnall comes in 1-2. Cook. They get it over, and a foul is going to be called. It's going to be on Megan Doherty, her first, the team's first for the Goslings.
The Watertown fouls for 23, Megan Doherty, her first, the team's first.
Inbounds pass. We'll drive in, Abby Cook over to Ella Cook, sisters playing tonight. Riley Ward with the basketball at the top of the key. Over to Grace King, back to Ward, and they continue to move it around. Abby Cook. They're going to try to get it inside, but it's turned over, and it's Alex Johnson who comes up with the basketball. Ellie DeMette will bring it up the court here for the Goslings. Drew Hendricks over to Abby Moss. Abby Moss has been a big part of the game plan lately. That ball is off the hands of Drew Hendricks, and it will be heading back the other way in favor of Whitnall. A little bit of a slow start offensively here for both teams. Again, Whitnall just trying to get it inside. That one's tipped away. And oh, now stolen away by Abby Cook, and she gets it to go.
Abigail Cook.
Abby Cook is their leading scorer. She averaged 12.1 points per game last year. Big story for Whitnall. They lost a lot of big-time players on this team. Mackenzie Rosh was a big-time player. She averaged 10.6. She graduated. Alyssa Trinchia also graduated, 8.2 a game for her. So they've lost some bodies here. And really good defense here this time by Amari Ogleton as it's knocked away, and Whitnall will get the basketball back. And with 15:05 left, they have a 2-point lead. Shot off the mark. Drew Hendricks will get the rebound. DeMette over to Hendricks. Hendricks trying to get it into Alex Johnson. They do, and she is fouled underneath. That foul is going to go against Amari Ogleton. That is her first and the team's first.
The Whitnall fouls for 12. Amari Ogleton, her first, the team's first. The line shooting 2 for the Goslings, Alex Johnson.
Ogleton, the forward. Alex Johnson makes the first shot, the sophomore forward, Ogleton. Lucy Hickey will check in the game for the Goslings. And Alex Johnson makes 1 of 2 from the line. Again, the Goslings coming off back-to-back losses in the Kettle Moraine Thanksgiving Classic this past week. That ball is retrieved by Grace King, but wow, she has trouble getting rid of it, and good defense by Drew Hendricks and Lucy Hickey. It'll be Grace King to inbound. And she will bounce it into Riley Ward. Ward over to Abby Cook. Now Ward will take a three. Her shot is off the mark. Rebound into the hands of Shakira Cooper. Excuse me, that is a Mari Ogleton. Abby Cook drives, ball is knocked away. It's going to be a good matchup all day. Abby Cook against Ellie Demet. Excited to see that one. Addie Moss gives way to Lucy Hickey. Now over to Alex Johnson. Oh, that one is off the hands of Addie Moss, and it'll be a turnover. Notably missing from the Goslings lineup is Lily Euler. Again, she was injured last week in their win against Sauk Prairie here. So she is not playing tonight. She has not been playing since that game. She was out on crutches before the game, so I can only assume what's going on there. But now we're going to get a three on the way, and it's Abigail Cook again. Three on the way, Drew Hendricks. It's off the mark. Rebound into the hands of Ward. Ward will bring it up the court here for Whitnall. Bounce pass inside to Ella Cook. Back out to Ward for three. That's off the mark. Rebound, Ellie Demet. Watertown's gotten off to some slow starts lately. Another one here in this home game, down 5-1. Remember, they started down 9-0 against Sauk Prairie. Came back to win. We got a whistle and a foul. This is going to be against Amari Ogleton. That's her second. Team second. Megan Doherty checks back in the game for the Goslings. Same five on the court for Whitnall. Lucy Hickey trying to get some separation from Abby Cook. She does, and the shot is no good. Cook ends up with the basketball, and back the other way come the Falcons. Turning and driving is Abby Cook. That ball is off of Lucy Hickey. It's going to stay with Whitnall. So Sonia Pagan will check in for Whitnall. Meanwhile, Abby Walsh will come in the game for the first time for the Goslings. Inbounds pass all the way across to Riley Ward, the freshman. Ward dribbles back, looking for help. She gives it away to Abby Cook. Now they get it inside to Ella Cook, who is fouled on her way up. And she will go to the line and shoot two for the Falcons.
The Watertown fouls number 23, Megan Doherty, her second, team second. Shooting two for Whitnall is Ella Cook.
Megan Doherty charged with the foul. That's her second, team second. First shot is up and good for Ella Cook. Ella Cook also a freshman. And she goes 1 of 2 from the line. It is a 6-1 Falcons lead with 12:30 left to play here in the first half. Drew Hendricks for three. That shot's off the mark. Rebound underneath by Abby Walsh. Now Megan Doherty for three. That rings out off of Doherty, and it's going to go back the other way for Whitnall. With 12:18 to play, it is 6-1 in favor of Whitnall. My name is Ethan Buss, and you are listening to those Watertown TV production. Again, the Goslings come into this game losing two straight, 2-2 on the year now. While the Falcons are 1-2. Riley Ward dribbling around. Over to Pagan, she turns it over, back the other way. Lucy Hickey came up with the ball. Ellie Demet trying to work her way inside, she does, and a foul is going to be called. I believe it's going to be against Ella Cook. That's going to be her first and the team's third.
The Whitnall fouls for 44, Ella Cook, her first, the team's third. Line shoot two for the Goslings, Ellie Demet.
And now Ellie Demet will go to the line and shoot. First shot is good. Again, a slow start out of the gate here for the Goslings. And the second shot is up and in for Demet. She cuts the lead to 3. It is now 6-3 Whitnall with 11:51 left to play here in the first quarter. First half, rather, sorry. King dribbling around over to Ward. Now back to King. King finds Pagan. Now back to Ward, and they are moving it around really well. Pagan for 3. She's off the mark. Rebound goes to Grace King. And now Riley Ward drives the paint. Layup no good. Ella Cook turns and shoots off the mark. Rebound, Drew Hendricks. Demet turns, drives in the paint, and it's taken away. And it's Riley Ward again. Oh, that one's off the foot of Ella Cook, and it's going to be picked up by Ellie Demet, who is fouled. It's going to be the second foul against Ella Cook and the 4th team foul. So foul trouble here early on for Whitnall. And that ball's still on the way on the inbound. It is Riley Ward who will bring it back the other way for the Falcons with 11 minutes left to play here in the first half. Ward for 3. Her shot is off the mark, and it'll be a turnover, and the Goslings will get the basketball here. Emma Page will check in the game here for the Whitnall Falcons. Again, it is 6-3 in favor of Whitnall with 10:50 left to play in the first half. Demet brings it up the court for the Goslings. As he said, she's the leading scorer, averaging 18 points a game right now. She has been firing on all cylinders. Drew Hendricks for 3. And we are all tied up. Hendricks struggled a bit in those last 2 games, but she is the second leading scorer on this team, averaging 9.5 a game. 3 on the way for Abby Cook is off the mark. Rebound goes to Emma Page. Abby Cook will get the ball back. They work it all the way back around to Riley Ward, the freshman guard, and now a foul will be called. Appear to be on Lucy Hickey. We'll see who they call it against. They're actually going to call Ellie Demet for the foul. That's her first and the team's 3rd. Riley Ward over to Emma Page. Page looking for help. She goes back to Ward. Page over to Ward. Again, trying to work it around the circle, trying to get somebody open inside. They're looking for Ella Cook. Now that pass is misfired, and it's out of bounds, and the Gosling will get the basketball.
For the game for the Goslings, number 5, Olivia Gwitt.
So here comes Olivia Gwitt. This is her first appearance in this game. And now Lucy Hickey will take a seat for the Goslings. Addie Moss over to Abby Walsh. Now they work it over to Demet. Allie Demet turns the corner and drives, trying to find something in the paint. She can't. All the way across is Walsh. Addie Moss inside. Walsh finds Demet. Shot is deflected. Crowd wanted a foul. Ella Cook on the defense, and she did a pretty good job. 3 on the way. No good for Abby Cook, and now a foul is called underneath. They might have got Demet again.
The Watertown fouls number 14, Ellie Demet, her 2nd, team's 4th.
And they did. That's
number 21, Alex Johnson.
Ellie Demet's 2nd. And
The game for the Falcons,
the team's 4th. We have some substitutions here. Alto Risman-Stakula coming in for Whitnall. We got a whistle and a kick ball. So we'll stay with Whitnall. Bounce pass inside. They go to Rispin-Stakula. Working it around, and that ball ends up in the air, and it's out of bounds off of Sonia Pagad. And it'll go back to the Goslings. A 6-6 score with 8:52 left to play here in the first half. Demet over to Addie Moss. Moss over to Gwitt. Gwitt looking for help. She finds Alex Johnson inside, off the glass and in.
Alex Johnson.
It's 3 early points for Alex Johnson if she gives the Goslings their first lead of the game. It is now 8-6 with 8:27 left here in the first half. And now that ball is kicked, and it's going to stay on this end. You'll often see that with the Goslings defense. Arms and legs both extended. If you get a kick ball, you just give it right back. Riley Ward, again the freshman guard, number 32. Over to Emma Page. Page inside to Rispin-Stakula. Page turns the corner and drives, and a foul called. A lot of whistles here early. This one's going to be against Alex Johnson. That's going to be her first and the team's fifth. Sorry, they actually call Olivia Gwitt for the foul. Emma Page shooting 2, misses the first. One of 2 from the line for Emma Page. Lucy Hickey returns to the game and will give Ellie Demet a break. Demet playing with 2 fouls at the moment. And that ball was almost stolen away, but Page could not corral it, and it's knocked out of bounds.
In the game for the Falcons, number 4, Taylor Pita.
So Taylor Pita will check in the game for Whitnall. Lucy Hickey lost the basketball, and it's a turnover. Goslings have a 1-point lead. It just does not feel like it right now. They are not playing all that well here early on. Of course, Whitnall has not gotten many baskets to fall, but they are seemingly the better team right now offensively. But yeah, it's just tough to tell if you look at the scoreboard, and it's 8-7. Pitta over to Riley Ward. Now they get it over to Emma Page. We got a whistle, and we're going to get a offensive 3-second violation, and it's going to head back to the Goslings.
The Whitnall follows number 35, Alta Rispin-Stakula, her first, the team's fifth.
I do apologize. I actually called a foul on that one. It is Alta Rispin-Stakula on the foul, her first, team's 5th. Both teams with 5 fouls. And that's stolen away by Riley Ward. She read it well, and she's fouled on her way to the basket by Lucy Hickey. That'll be her first, number 6 on the team. And Riley Ward will go to the line after this timeout for Watertown. So a bit of a slow start offensively for both teams, but Abby Cook is leading the way for Whitnall. She's got 5 early points of their 7. Of course, 1 point from Emma Page at the free throw line and 1 point from Ella Cook. A lot of free throw visits here thus far for both teams. Well, for the Goslings, Drew Hendricks with a 3 early on has 3 points for the Goslings. Alex Johnson also has 3 points. And 2 points for Ellie Demet make up the 8 for the Goslings. Of course, this is a non-conference game. Whitnall, a part of the Woodland East Conference. That is made up of South Milwaukee, Greenfield, Shorewood, Brown Deer, Milwaukee Lutheran, Cudahy, and of course Whitnall. Again, it'll be Riley Ward in line, shooting 2. She makes the first. It's the Goslings representing the Badger East Conference, made up of Beaver Dam, Wanakee, Monona Grove, DeForest, Fort Atkinson, Stoughton, Milton, and of course Watertown. Back into the game is Ella Cook. The rebound will be off of Addie Moss. She thought that Ella Cook touched it. It looked like it, but it's tough to call. Grace King is going to check in the game for Riley Ward, and Riley Ward has played a really good game here thus far tonight. Oh, that ball is thrown away. Abby Cook, second time she threw a ball away tonight.
Number 14, Ellie DeMett, and number 23, Megan Doherty.
So Megan Doherty, number 23, will check back in, and so will number 14, Ellie DeMett. Score is tied, 8-8, 7:01 left to play here in the first half. DeMett working her way around the arc. Now over to Henricks. Henricks bounces it over to Johnson. Tries to get the shot off. Can't. Foul is called. It's going to be against Ella Cook. That's already her third.
The Whitnall foul is number 44, Ella Cook, her third, the team's sixth.
That'll be number 6 on Whitnall. And now Alex Johnson will go to the line. Second trip to the line for Johnson. She's a perfect 3 for 3.
Number 24, Emma Page.
Emma Page will check in the game for Ella Cook, who's going to leave with early foul trouble here. And Alex Johnson, of course, just as I say, she was a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. She misses the last shot and is now 3 for 4. 4 early points for Alex Johnson. 6:40 left, and it's a turnover. Ellie DeMett over to Addie Moss. Moss is fouled as she turns and went to shoot. It's going to be Grace King who committed the foul. It's going to be her first, the team's 7th.
Whitnall foul is number 35, Alta Ritzman-Stahula, her second, the team's 7th. Addie Moss shooting 2 for the Gaslights.
I do apologize. I called that foul on Alta Ritzman-Stahula. That's her second. Addie Moss will make the first shot here. And Addie goes 1 of 2 from the line, but she does extend the Goslings lead. It's 10-8 with 6:29 left to play in the first half of a low-scoring affair here in Watertown. Abby Cook gets it over to Pagan. They try to get it inside to Ritzman-Stahula. Now she gets it out to Grace King. That shot's off the mark. Rebound, Alex Johnson. And now Ellie DeMett will bring it up the court here for the Goslings. 6:03 left to play. It is a 2-point Gosling lead here in the first half as Addie Moss turns the corner. Tries to find her way in the lane. She can't. Pass over to DeMett. Now she gets way to Alex Johnson, who will use her size to try to get inside. She can't. We have a over-the-back foul here on Megan Doherty, and Whitnall will get possession of the basketball.
Watertown foul is number 23, Megan Doherty, her third, the team's 7th.
It's the team's 7th, so they are over the limit, and Whitnall
Number 12, Henry Overton.
will go to the line.
Shooting 1-1 for Whitnall. Grace King.
Grace King, 1-1 opportunity again. Gosling's over the limit. And she makes the first, so she will get a second shot. Amari Ogleton is checked back in the game for Whitnall. And Grace King ties it up at 10.
Number 32, Ryan Ward. From Watertown, 14, Ellie DeMett. Freshman number 4, Lucy Hickey.
Addie Moss inside to Drew Henricks that hit her. She's in a lot of pain right now. We get a turnover. Ogleton, and we're going to get a whistle for an injury here. I'm not sure where it hit Drew Henricks, but she certainly felt the worst of it.
For the Goslings, number 15, Abby Walsh.
Abby Walsh is going to come in for, I might have hit her right in the, I think it did hit her right in the face, so we're going to have to, hopefully it'll be good news for Drew Henricks, but the doctor is over with her. Riley Ward Over to Abby Cook. Cook over to Grace King. Now back over to Abby Cook for three. And she nails it. Cook has 8 points of the 13 for Whitnall. Driving and scoring is Ellie Demetz. And that lead is cut back to 1. 13-12 with 4:55 left of the first half. Whitnall trying to work it away around. They do. They get it over to Pagan, and she is fouled by Lucy Hickey. That'll be her second and the team's 8th. And so Pagan will go to the line and shoot 2. I do apologize. It is Taylor Pita who is at the line. She misses, and it was a 1-and-1, not 2 shots. I thought they called a shooting foul. That was my fault. Ellie Demet drives, and she is fouled on this end. Foul is going to go against Amari Ogleton. That's her 3rd, and the team's 8th. And now Demet will go to the line and shoot 2. Well, you want to talk about a troubling first half for both teams. 16 combined fouls in this first half. Demet makes both. Alta Rispin-Stakula will check back in the game for Whitnall. Trying to work it inside. Rispin-Stakula outside to Pita. And Pita will turn it over into the hands of Addie Moss. Watertown with a 1-point lead, brings it back the other way. Ellie Demet gets it to go. Demet has 8 early points of the 16 for the Goslings. And now that's stolen away by Alex Johnson. They've had trouble offensively now, Whitnall has, as the Goslings pick up the pace. Addie Moss to Lucy Hickey for 3, off the mark. Rebound, Alex Johnson, turning, spinning, shot is off. And the rebound will go to Riley Ward. Drew Hendricks is also checked back in for Watertown. That's a good sign. She got the rebound on that last play. Abby Cook for 3. Off the mark, rebound, Alex Johnson. Cook can shoot. She's the leading scorer. I would say the 2 leading scorers on their team that to look out for Abby Cook and, of course, Grace King. Addie Moss trying to get it into Alex Johnson. That was really good defense by the freshman, Riley Ward. Man, I'm really impressed with her. She's playing a really good game here thus far for Whitnall defensively. I know she's only got the 1 point on offense, but boy, she is sure making her impact known here. A few substitutions coming in for Whitnall. Drew Hendricks will turn and drive. Bouncer to Alex Johnson. The hook is off. And it's going to stay on this end. That ball ended up going off of Sonia Pagan, who just checked in for Whitnall. Kendall Torres checked in as well for the Falcons. Gonna get a foul here. It's gonna be against Kendall Torres, her first, team's 9th. Alex Johnson to the line. Misses the first. So on the court right now for the Falcons, we have Abby Cook as Alex Johnson makes 1 of 2. Abby Cook, number 5. Number 2, Kendall Torres. Number 24, Emma Page. Number 3, Sonia Pagan. And number 32, Riley Ward. Torres, oh, the shot rings in and out. Rebound goes to Abby Cook, and a foul is going to be called underneath. We'll see who they call it on. They're actually going to call it against Whitnall. So it's an offensive foul. I believe they called it against Emma Page. I'm sorry, the officials, some confusion here. The foul actually goes against Ellie DeMette. Her third, team's ninth. I thought the foul was against Watertown, so I was a little confused as to why we're heading back the other way, but nonetheless, going to the line is Kendall Torres. Her first shot of the 1-and-1 is off the mark. Rebound goes to Olivia Gwitt. They call another foul here. They did against Gwitt, I believe, for throwing her elbows. And we're going to get a timeout. Boy, oh boy. This has been an ugly first half. They did not call foul on that play, so I don't know exactly what caused the turnover. Nonetheless, it is a 17-13 Goslings lead with 2:33 left to play. 9 fouls for both teams, so a total of 18 combined first half fouls from these teams. It feels like every play we have a foul that's being called at the moment. That's just the way it seems. But nonetheless, for Whitnall, Abby Cook leading the way. She's got 8. And for the Goslings, Ellie DeMette has 8. And again, Whitnall, a part of the Woodland East Conference. Last year they finished 5-18 on the year overall, 4-8 in conference. 5th place in the Woodland East Conference that was won by South Milwaukee. South Milwaukee last year went 21-5 and 12-0 in conference play. Whitnall lost 2 of their top 3 scorers to graduation over the offseason, so that certainly will affect the team. Gosling's pretty much returning most of their top scorers, so that's good for them. Ward over to Pagan, over to Page, now back to Pagan. And now Emma Page will take a 3. That shot is deflected and in the hands of Addie Moss, who gets rid of it to Drew Heinrich just barely. Addie Moss over to Lucy Hickey. Hickey looking for help. She'll get it over to Drew Hendricks. Hendricks will turn the corner, drive the paint, and she is fouled by Riley Ward. That is her first, the team's 10th. Drew Hendricks makes the first basket. Shooting 2 here was a shooting foul. Hendricks makes both. She has 5 here in the first half for Watertown. Number 23, Chloe Linsky will check in the game for Whitnall. This is the first time she has entered the game for the Falcons tonight. That ball is almost thrown away. Good job by Emma Page to corral it. Now Page over to Cook, back out to Page. Oh, Linsky has it bounce off her foot and picked up by Emma Page. She'll bring it back the other way. Surprised they didn't call an over and back there. That ball was deflected and ends up off of Watertown. It's going to stay on this end. Grace King will check in the game for number 24, Emma Page. Grace King averaged 6.8 a game last year. She was the 4th leading scorer on this team a year ago. And because of the 2 graduates from last year, that would make her the 2nd leading scorer this year. Off the mark is Abby Cook, who is the leading scorer. And the other way comes Watertown. Addie Moss up to Lucy Hickey. Over to Drew Hendricks for three. She got it!
3 for Drew Hendricks.
Hendricks now has 8 points. Watertown extends the lead 22-3 with 1:03 left to play in the first half, and we're going to get a timeout called by Whitnall.
30-second timeout.
It's a 30-second timeout. And so, as we take a look at the score, DeMet, as we said, had 8 points here early. Also 8 points now for Drew Hendricks, who has taken over here in the last couple of minutes of this game. 4 points for Alex Johnson. Excuse me, 5 points for Alex Johnson. 1 point for Addie Moss from the free throw line. That makes up the 22 for Watertown. Meanwhile, 8 points on the other side for Abby Cook. 2 points from Grace King. 1 point from Emma Page. 1 point from Riley Ward. And 1 point from Ella Cook makes up the 13 for Whitnall. And with 1 minute exactly left, Whitnall will inbound the ball. It's going to be Abby Cook who will be doing the inbounding. Lucy Hickey guarding hers. That ball is inbounded all the way across to Grace King. And now it's stolen away by Addie Moss. Moss coming back the other way, gives way to Drew Hendricks. Hendricks turns the corner, trying to find the lane. She'll kick it out to Lucy Hickey. Hickey over to Hendricks. They're looking inside. Abby Walsh checked back in the game for Watertown. Now here's Olivia Gwitt. Over to Hickey. All the way back across. Addie Moss for three. She got it! 4 points for Addie Moss. It's now 25-13. Gosling's lead is 12. Riley Ward over to Abby Cook. That was knocked away for her second, but now it will stay on this end. Ward back to Cook. Cook for a deep three. Off the mark. Rebound. Will go inside. It is Pagan. Her shot is off the mark. Again, the rebound goes to Olivia Gwitt, and that will sound the buzzer on the first half. So at the end of the first half, it is Watertown 25, Whitnall 13. Leading the way for the Goslings is Drew Heinrichs with 8. Ellie DeMet also has 8. Meanwhile, for Whitnall, Abby Cook leads the way. She's got 8 points as well. Making up the rest of the points for the Goslings, 5 points for Alex Johnson, 4 for Addie Moss, who just hit a 3 there towards the end of the half. And meanwhile, on the other side for Whitnall, 2 points for Grace King, 1 for Emma Page, 1 point for Riley Ward, and 1 point for Ella Cook. The big story of the first half has been the foul situation. 18 total fouls on both teams, 9 each. Tough game for the foul category of things here in the first half. We'll have to see if they can clean that up, both sides, in the second half. Meanwhile, we're going to take a break. And we are going to listen to the pep band here during halftime, led by Reed Ledoux. And as we do, we'll be back shortly. Again, 25-13. We are coming to you back from Watertown High School. That sounded weird. We are coming back to you from Watertown High School here in Watertown, Wisconsin. The Goslings have a 25-13 lead over the Whitnall Falcons as we are about to start the second half. It'll be Drew Heinrichs, number 30, Ellie DeMett, number 14, Alex Johnson, number 21, Addie Moss, number 32, and Megan Doherty, number 23, on the court for the Goslings. Heinrichs looking for help. We'll get it over to Ellie DeMett. DeMett dribbles in, now gives over to Heinrichs. Heinrichs working her way in, looking to drive to the basket. She kicks it out to Alex Johnson, now over to Megan Doherty. DeMett back to Doherty. Now over to Addie Moss. Ellie DeMett will turn the corner and drive. Shot is no good. Rebound will go back to Whitnall and Grace King. On the court for the Falcons, it is number 5, Abby Cook. Number 22, Grace King. Number 32, Riley Ward, who just took the shot and is fouled by Alex Johnson. It'll be her first and the team's first here in the second half. And now Riley Ward will shoot 2, and she misses the first. Second shot is good for Ward. She's got 2. And it's now an 11-point game. Also on the court for Whitnall, number 44, Ella Cook. And number 12, Amari Ogleton. Turning and driving is Ellie DeMett. She kicks it out to Megan Doherty. Addie Moss now has it, looking for help. Moss inside to DeMett, finds Drew Henricks. What a pass by Ellie DeMett. And Drew Henricks extends the lead for the Goslings. It's 27-14 with 16:37 left to play here in the second half. Ogleton is stolen away by Ellie DeMett. DeMett will drive, and she is fouled by Grace King.
Whitnall foul number 22, Grace King, her first, team's first. Ellie DeMett shooting 2 for the Goslings.
It's the first on Grace King. Her first, team's first. And Ellie DeMett makes the first shot. One for 2 at the line for DeMett, that trip around. She's got 9 points. Riley Ward over to Grace King. Now they kick it over to Amari Ogleton. Ogleton over to Riley Ward, the freshman. Grace King back to Ward. They just keep passing it back and forth, trying to find something in the paint. Ward over to Cook for 3. It rings out. Her sister, Ella Cook, got the rebound. Now Ogleton's shot is good, and she's fouled. So she'll go to the line and attempt to make it a 3-point play.
Basket hit by Amari Ogleton. Line foul fouls 21, Alex Johnson, her second, team second.
Alex Johnson charged with the foul, her second, team second, here in the second half. And Ogleton misses the free throw, and it will remain 28-16, 12-point lead with 15:50 left to play in the game here for Watertown. Alex Johnson now over to Ellie DeMett. DeMett, behind the back, finds Heinrichs driving. Now kicks it out to DeMett, who turns the corner, drives herself, loses control, and I think Ella Cook stepped on the baseline. She did. And so it's going to be Watertown basketball. And the head coach for the Whitnall Falcons is Anthony Parr. That shot is off the mark. Rebound will go to Ella Cook, and back the other way come the Falcons. And Abby Cook is stolen away by Addie Moss, who will make the basket.
Addie Moss.
Boy, Addie Moss has 6 points here quietly tonight. and she extends the Goslings lead. It's now 30-16. 3 on the way for Ward is good.
3-point basket is good by Riley Ward.
She now has 5, and it's an 11-point lead again as Drew Hendricks drives in the glass. Shot is off the mark. Abby Cook over to Riley Ward. Ward looking to get it all the way across to Grace King, and does. Now Amari Ogleton looking to drive in. 4 Goslings there. They're playing almost like a zone defense here. It's very effective. We saw this give trouble to Sauk Prairie, and now it's stolen away. It was Megan Doherty who swiped that ball out of there. And now she's got it back on the offensive end. Oh, Alex Johnson thought she had a shot, but a heads-up play by Abby Cook. As she came down, knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Goslings. Demet inbounds to Drew Heinrichs, who's looking to drive. Takes the shot off the mark. Another great play by Riley Ward. We got a foul called against Drew Heinrichs. That's her first and the team's 3rd here in the second half. So the stoppage of play comes with 14-19 left to play here in the second half. Riley Ward brings it up over to Grace King. King now moving around to Ward. Now over to Cook. Cook gives over to her sister, Ella Cook. And now Abby Cook will get it back and then passes it back to Ella, and it's stolen away by Addie Moss. Trying to figure out the ball went out of bounds. Is it off of, I believe it's off of Whitnall. It was knocked away. So it'll stay with the Goslings. Megan Doherty will inbound. Doherty inbounding to Drew Hendricks, who tried to take a 3. What a defensive play from Amari Ogleton, and she swatted that one. Ogleton is still down on the court. They get it inside to Alex Johnson, and a travel call. It's a good call by the officials. She caught it and took another couple steps. Abby Walsh will check into the game here for Alex Johnson. Regardless of the score, give Whitnall credit. They are playing a tough physical game, and they get it inside here to Ella Cook. She's trying to work her way around the defense. She won't. Possession arrow will favor Whitnall as they call a tie-up. So Whitnall will maintain possession of the basketball. Again, early on, you know, it felt like Whitnall had complete control of this game, but Watertown just really extended the lead towards the end of the half. Riley Ward trying to get past that zone defense. We got a kickball. It's going to stay with Whitnall. And with 13:25, we have a stoppage of play here in the second half. Ella Cook will inbound to Riley Ward, and she will bring it back across the half-court line. Amari Ogleton turns and drives. Good move, just couldn't get the shot to go. Rebound ends up with Addie Moss, and now Ellie Demet will bring it up the court. She'll shoot and is fouled as she makes the basket. She now has 11 as she'll go to the line to try to make it a 3-point play. Grace King committed the foul. And Demet makes it a 3-point play. So that is King's second foul, the team's second as well, here in the second half. Riley Ward all the way across over to Abby Cook. Now she bounces it into Ella Cook, who drives off the glass and in.
Ella Cook.
Now Ella Cook has 3. Press defense here for Whitnall. It is 33-21 Gosling to 12:41 left to play here in the second half. Heinrichs turns, drives, a whistle, no basket. They're going to call a foul. I believe it's going to go against Amari Ogleton. I've been wrong tonight, so who knows?
Whitnall fouls for 5. Abigail Coker first, team's 3rd.
And I was wrong. It is against Abby Cook. Her third. Her first, team's third. Inbounds out to Addie Moss. Miscommunication. The ball will be heading back to Whitnall. It's an over and back for the Goslings. Their lead remains at 12 with 12:30 left to play in the second half. And Grace King will inbound it to Riley Ward. Ward over to King. King bounces it over to Ward. Now over to Cook. Getting some bounce passes back and forth, trying to throw somebody open. Ward misses the three, and it'll go back to Watertown as it hits the baseline. And Lucy Hickey's going to check in for the Goslings, number 4, for Megan Doherty. Drew Hendricks will inbound. She needs help. She'll get it all the way across to Addie Moss, who can't corral the basketball. Now she does. Gets it over to Demet. Goslings have numbers if they want it. Demet's shot is good.
Ellie Demet.
She's got 14. And the Goslings lead 35-21 with 11:57 left to play here in the second half. Ella Cook, another nice move. That time she lost control. It's going to stay with the Falcons.
The game for the Falcons, number 3, Sonia Pagan.
Sonia Pagan will check in the game for Amari Ogleton for Whitnall. Riley Ward over to Grace King. Now Grace King over to Sonia Pagan. Again, Watertown just plays this tight zone defense. It's really hard to get in the paint against them. They do it here, though. Abby Cook, boy, she's a good player, and she gets that shot to go.
Abigail Cook.
Abby Cook's got 10. And the lead is 12 for the Goslings with 11:15 left to play in the second half. And a turnover here for the Goslings.
Watertown foul is number 14, Ellie Demet, her 4th, team score.
It goes against Ellie Demet.
Watertown.
Her 4th, team's 4th. We're going to get a timeout here. Boy, a lot happening in the last couple minutes here, but the Goslings maintain a 35-23 lead. Ellie Demet with 14 points in this one. 10 points from Drew Hendricks for the Goslings. 5 points from Alex Johnson, 6 from Addie Moss, who has had a really good game here tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side, Abby Cook continues to impress. She's got 10 for Whitnall, 5 points for Riley Ward, 3 for Ella Cook, 2 for Amari Ogleton, 2 for Grace King, and 1 for Emma Page. Obviously, the story here has been the fouls. They have been quite heavy here in this game for both teams, but the second half has been a little cleaner. That's the good news. Obviously, the bad news is that foul trouble continues. Be interesting here to see the approach for Whitnall down 12 and see how they will approach the second half. So Ellie Demet's going to take a seat with 4 fouls, so that'll mean Alex Johnson checks back in, along with Megan Doherty. Riley Ward over to Grace King. Working it over to Sonia Pagan. King ran into the zone, unable to get in there. Now Ella Cook will go all the way across to Riley Ward. The kick over to Abby Cook, back out to Ward for 3, and that's off the mark. Good effort from Sonia Pagan, but she can't save it, and it's going to be a turnover, and the ball will head back to Watertown. With 10:46 left to play, 35-23 Goslings. It's a 12-point lead. Lucy Hickey is fouled on her way in.
Whitnall fouls number 5, Abigail Cook, her second, the team's fourth.
Foul will go against Abby Cook. That is her second. Team's fourth. Inbounds pass to Drew Hendricks. Can't get it to go. They do get the rebound, though. And now it's knocked away. And Ella Cook will lose it out of bounds. And it'll head back to Watertown. Good defensive effort from the Falcons, but unable to corral it. And now Drew Hendricks will inbound it for the Goslings with 10:28 left and a 12-point lead. Megan Doherty looking for help. And a travel. She picked up the pivot foot. And it's a turnover, and the Falcons will get the ball back here. You tell she needed help up there at the top of the key and just did not get it. Picked up the pivot foot. It is so difficult to maintain possession in that situation. Inside to Ella Cook. She dribbles around. Oh, tries to find Sonia Pagan. It was knocked away for a minute. Abby Cook got it, and now it's back to Watertown. Megan Doherty came up with it, and now she almost loses it. Looks like Doherty is playing a little bit out of position here because Ellie DeMette is on the bench with those 4 fouls. The lob inside is stolen away by Ella Cook. Up court they go. Riley Ward bouncer to Pagan is blocked by Drew Heinrichs. Alex Johnson up court to Megan Doherty. Heinrichs for 3. Oh, rings in and out. Rebound, Alex Johnson. Over to Abby Walsh. Shot is off the mark, and this is going to be off of Whitnall, and it will stay with the Goslings with 9:18 left to go in the game. Score remains 35-23. Abby Walsh inside to Drew Hendricks. She kicks it out to Alex Johnson. Now over to Megan Doherty. Lucy Hickey now looking for help. We got a whistle and a foul underneath.
Whitnall fouls number 32, Riley Ward, her second, the team's fifth.
It's going to be against Riley Ward. Her second. Team's fifth. Emma Page will check in the game for Whitnall. Drew Hendricks for 3. That's off the mark. Rebound will go back to Whitnall. Riley Ward up court to Abby Cook. It's swatted away by Drew Hendricks into the hands of Abby Walsh, and Lucy Hickey will bring it up the court for the Goslings. Hickey, lost the ball for a second. Recovers. Needs help, gets it over to Megan Doherty. Doherty turns and kicks over to Alex Johnson, who puts on the brakes for a second. Now finds Lucy Hickey, who takes the shot. Off the mark, rebound Alex Johnson again, working her way through the defense. Can't get the shot to go. Rebound goes to Ella Cook. 35-23, 8:20 left to play here in the second half. That ball is off the leg of Drew Hendricks as she takes it away. Hendricks over to Abby Walsh. Walsh looking to get it in to Alex Johnson. She does and scores. Alex Johnson has 7, and the Goslings have the 37-23 lead with 7:52 left to play here in the second half. Riley Ward over to Abby Cook. Now Emma Page. That ball is knocked away. It's going to go back to Watertown.
In the game for Whitnall, number 1, Kira Cooper. For Watertown, number 14, Emily DeMette.
Whitnall did not agree with the call. You can hear Coach Parr arguing that one. He thought it was off of Watertown. It is not. Full court press here as Lucy Hickey brings it up for the Goslings. That ball was almost stolen away. Heinrichs over to Walsh. Oh, she can't get it to go. Gets her own rebound, throws up a shot, and it's off the mark. Rebound goes to Emma Page. Shakira Cooper is checking the game for Whitnall. This is, I believe, the first time she's been in. Maybe the second. We got a travel here against Whitnall, and it'll go back to the Goslings.
Back to the Goslings, number 32, Addie Moss.
Addie Moss will check back in for the Goslings. Ellie DeMette came back in on the last whistle previous as well, so she is back in with those 4 fouls. One more and she is fouled out. Addie Moss looking for help, finds Drew Hendricks. Hendricks gets a couple screens, now looking for help, finds Addie Moss open for 3. She got it!
3 for Addie Moss.
How about that? 9 points for Addie Moss tonight. And the lead is now 40-23 with 6:43 left to play here in the second half. Good defense by Ellie DeMette as she swats that ball away from Shakira Cooper. Inbounds pass is knocked away and back the other way come the Goslings. A lob to DeMette and she scores. DeMette has 16 and she is again putting on another performance here tonight. 42-23, 6:18 left to play. And now Sonia Pagan dribbles the ball on the baseline and it's a turnover and Watertown will get the ball back. It's always so tough when you get to that baseline. Heinrich will inbound it. She needs some help. Just gets it in to Moss, and she lost control, and it's going to go right back to Whitnall. So now Ella Cook will inbound it here for the Falcons, and a timeout is going to be called here for Whitnall. So with 6:13 left to play, 42-23 Goslings. Last time these two teams met last year was in Whitnall, and Watertown had a dominant victory that night. It was 63-30. They lead this one 42-23. Not as an effective of a scoring game, if you will, but a lot of fouls have been called in this game. Not so much here in the second half, but the first half, 18 combined fouls were called, 9 on each team. The second half, 5 against Whitnall, 4 against Watertown, so that has been a big difference here in the second half. Goslings looking to get back in the win column. That would move them to 3-2. If Whitnall loses this one, they would drop to 1-3 on the year. Again, this is a non-conference matchup. Neither team has played a conference matchup yet this year, but Whitnall will play Brown Deer next, and that will be a conference matchup for them. Meanwhile, Ella Cook is going to inbound here for the Falcons. She finds Shakira Cooper. Cooper over to Addie Moss. Excuse me, Riley Ward, rather. Ward back to Cooper, and now Cooper finds her way over to Sonia Pagan. Pagan back to Cooper. Cooper, a junior. Inside they go to Ella Cook, and she stepped on the baseline. It's a turnover. Well, if she did step on the baseline, it was just barely. It was hard to see from here, but it didn't look like it was by much if she did. Again, I'm up here, so I can't really say for sure, so I won't question the call too much. Megan Doherty, full court press applied here for Whitnall. We've got to be careful not to travel down here, no doubt about it. Ellie DeMette brings it across court for the Goslings. Megan Doherty is fouled on her way in. Foul will be called against Shakira Cooper. That's her first.
Whitnall fouls number 1, Shakira Cooper, first, the team 6.
And number 6 for the team.
Megan Doherty.
And Megan Doherty will go to the line and shoot. She makes the first. Checking into the game for Whitnall here is Taylor Pita.
Number 2, Kendall Torres, and number 22, Grace King.
Now also Grace King checking in as well. as well as Kendall Torres. Megan Doherty makes both shots, and the lead is now 44-23. 21-point lead for the Goslings, and Pagan's shot is no good, but she is fouled on her way up. So foul is going to be against Doherty. That's her fourth. Team's fifth. A lot of fouls in this game. Pagan makes the first shot. Her first basket of the night comes from the free throw line. Second shot rings out, and the Goslings will get the ball back. Ellie Demet up over to Drew Heinrichs. Heinrichs over to Moss inside. Ellie Demet turns and drives off the glass and in. And Ellie Demet's got her average. She's got 18 points tonight. Another great performance for number 14. 46-24, 4:47 left to play, and we're going to get a push here called. It's going to be against Megan Doherty, and she is going to foul out of this game.
23, Megan Doherty, her fifth, the team's sixth. Pagan's number 4, Lucy Hickey.
And now Lucy Hickey will enter in the game as Megan Doherty gets a nice ovation here. Inbounding is Ella Cook. All the way across to Grace King. King tried to turn it in. Taylor Pita over to Sonia Pagan. Pagan bounces it inside. Ella Cook off the glass and in.
Ella Cook.
Cook, the freshman, has 5 on the night for the Falcons. Demet brings it up the court for the Goslings. Over to Addie Moss. Moss over to Lucy Hickey, and now Drew Hendricks thought about a 3, decides against it, drives, and is fouled. This call is going to go against Taylor Pita. It'll be her first. Team 7th. And Drew Hendricks will go to the line and shoot 2. Her shot is up and in for Hendricks. Drew Hendricks has 12 as the Goslings have a 22-point lead now with 4:12 left to play, 48-26. Grace King's pass kicked away by Addie Moss.
Number 5, Olivia Gwitt.
Olivia Gwitt will check in the game here for Watertown. She'll come in for Ellie Demet, who leaves this game with 18 points. Not sure if we'll see her again, but another great performance from Ellie Demet. Grace King corrals the basketball. We got a whistle. We're going to get a foul. It's going to be against Addie Moss, her first, team 7th, and all of a sudden the fouls are adding up here for both teams again here in the second half. First shot of the 1-and-1 is off the mark. Rebound Watertown, and another whistle, and a foul this time is going to be called against Taylor Pita. I do apologize. They called against Alta Ritzman Skahula, her 3rd, team's 8th. And now Abby Walsh will go to the line and shoot. First shot is good. 1-and-1 opportunity here for Abby Walsh. And she makes the first. And the second shot rings out. And so the lead will remain 49-26, 3:50 left to play. And a whistle and a foul is going to be called here, I believe, against Drew Hendricks.
Number 30, Drew Hendricks, her second, the team's 8th. Shooting 1-1 for Whitnall, Taylor Pita.
That's her second, team's 8th. And now Taylor Pita will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1. First shot is good. First points for the freshman, Taylor Pita. And Pita makes both. 49-28. 21-point game with 3:44 left to play here in this one. Good full court press defense. Grace King knocked it away. Now Pita for 3 is off the mark. Rebound goes to Kendall Torres. Torres over to Grace King. Now over to Ella Cook. Cook looking for help. Again, this zone defense for Watertown. Pita working against Drew Heinrichs. Ella Cook was just going to take it herself to the hoop and in. She's got 7. That was a nice looking drive to the basket from Ella Cook. She's had a couple of those tonight. And now Lucy Hickey will bring it back up for Watertown. Jumper for Abby Walsh is no good. Oh, rebound, Taylor Pita, and a foul called against Drew Hendricks. That'll be her 3rd and the team's 9th. Taylor Pita will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1. First shot is off. Rebound goes to Addie Moss. Alex Johnson is checked back in the game for the Goslings with 2:53 left to play. 3 on the way for Gwitt, and her shot is off. And it will go back to Whitnall. With 2:47 left. That ball looked like it could have gone off either team. It was tough to tell from my point of view. Grace King's bounce pass is stolen away by Alex Johnson. Drew Hendricks will slow things down. Hendricks has 12 for the Goslings. She's had a great game here tonight. Hendricks will turn and spin. Now kicks it out. Oh, no, that ball is going to be in over and back, and Whitnall will get the ball back.
And for the Falcons, number 23,
Chloe Lenski will check back in the game for Whitnall. Meanwhile, we get to see Liz Havenstein check in for the first time for the Goslings. Kick ball by Drew Heinrichs. Inbounds pass will go to Taylor Pita. Her shot is off the mark. Rebound is a tie-up. Possession arrow in favor of the Goslings. Heinrichs will inbound, finds Alex Johnson. Again, Ellie DeMette on the bench. She's got those 4 fouls, and her night's probably done if I had to guess, but we will see. Heinrichs over to Lucy Hickey. Hickey turns the corner and drives, kicks it out to Johnson. Now back out to Addie Moss. Moss over to Lucy Hickey. Hickey will try to turn and get in, but again, now she does. Oh, Lucy Hickey to the glass.
Lucy Hickey.
Her first basket of the night gives the Goslings a 21-point lead with 1:40 left to play. And Drew Hendricks steals that ball away. And Alex Johnson corrals it, and now they will slow it down as Hendricks will bring it up the court for the Goslings. Hendricks out to Alex Johnson, now over to Lucy Hickey. 1:21 left to play. Goslings lead 51-30. Addie Moss looking for help. She'll give over to Lucy Hickey. 1:09 left. Hickey drilling it out over to Addie Moss. Moss looking for help. And again, they're almost dribbling out the clock here, it seems. Heinrichs over to Alex Johnson. Johnson over to Lucy Hickey. And now Hickey will turn and drive in the paint over to Addie Moss. Again, they are spending a good amount of the clock here. 32 seconds left in the game. Drew Heinrichs will drive, and she gets it to go. She's got 14, and 53-30 with 18 seconds left. That ball will be off of Whitnall, and it will go back the other way. Gosling's basketball. Drew Heinrichs will inbound here to Lucy Hickey with 14 seconds left in the game. Hickey is going to dribble this one out as you hear the crowd begin to applause a little bit. And it will stay with Watertown with 3.3 seconds left in the game. And that'll do it. So the Goslings will go to 3-2 on the year. And for Whitnall, they drop to 1-3. The final score, Watertown 53, Whitnall 30. As we take a look here at the final stats here tonight, 18 points for Ellie DeMette, 14 for Drew Heinrichs, 9 for Addie Moss, 7 for Alex Johnson, 2 for Megan Doherty, and 2 for Lucy Hickey make up the 53 for Watertown. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have 10 points for Abby Cook, 7 for Ella Cook, 2 for Amari Ogleton, 2 for Taylor Pita, 1 for Sonia Pagan, 1 for Emma Page, and 2 for Grace King that make up the 30 for the Whitnall Falcons. Watertown will be heading to Portage this Saturday to take on Portage at 1 o'clock, and they will return home next Tuesday, December 6th. That is a home game against Baraboo, 7:30 start time in that one. Meanwhile, for Whitnall, they will be having their first divisional conference matchup, against Brown Deer this Friday, December 2nd. That game will be at home. And then they will have another home game on December 6th against Waukesha North. Again, the final score tonight from Watertown High School, Goslings 53, Falcons 30. For Ethan Buss and Brandon Simmons for this Watertown TV production, saying good night and have a good one, everybody.